No matter how destructive King Kong may ever become, there's one thing for sure. He brings in a lot of money for entertainment. And that's one big monster that most of us Americans don't know how to even begin to attack. That's because Congress is like King Kong. In order to destroy King Kong before he destroys our communities and our country and the world, we have to have a plan. And one way is to attack the campaign donations and having clean elections. If any member of Congress says that donations don't influence him or her, then they're lying. All of them are corrupt. The only question is the degree of corruption. One reason members of Congress insist that money doesn't influence them is that they often become convinced of the rightness of their backers' causes without admitting it even to themselves. In time, they come to really believe that the guy who gives the big dough is the best guy, and that helping him is in the public interest. But campaign money has to influence even the most incorruptible men here and women, because most people don't give away large sums of money for nothing. This isn't a circus. This is our livelihoods, our communities, our jobs, our country. So it's important to address the campaign donations and why people aren't going to the polls to vote anymore, because they're so upset. Because they know the candidates are basically funded by hedge funds and the elites, who are the Rockefellers and the DuPonts and the Morgans. These few people that have all the money, that basically say they're just donating a few gifts. It's in the family. They were taught to give. When the truth of the matter is, another name for it is called being bribed. Many of these corporate people have much influence. But in order to stop this influence, we the American people need to wake up to what the problem exactly is. See, with these federal laws that sought to limit the sums candidates could spend and individuals can contribute have always been easily circumvented by such devices as dummy campaign committees or contributions made in the name of friends and relatives. In 1976, the Supreme Court removed most of the limits on campaign spending by allowing an individual to expend any amount in independent effort to elect or defeat any candidate, and allowing candidates themselves to spend as much as they desired of their personal or family fortunes on their own campaigns, a decision greatly favoring the wealthy. The court reasoned that limitations on spending were an infringement of the First Amendment right to free speech. In addition, the court upheld the use of public money to match funds of presidential candidates who raised a minimum of $100,000 from each of at least 20 states. Under the 1974 amendments to the Federal Election Campaign Act, the government pays the cost of the Democratic and the Republican conventions and provides matching funds of many millions for major party candidates. The same law denies assistance to parties that poll less than 5% of the presidential vote in the preceding election, effectively depriving all dissenting third parties of public funds. The 1974 law, backed by a number of court decisions and Federal Election Commission rulings, allows corporations to form political action committees, PACs, PACs, that can solicit contributions from stockholders and from all company employees, from managers on down. PACs, political action committees, operating expenses now can be paid out of corporate funds. The result has been an explosion of corporate PACs, some 776 in 1978, and a dramatic increase in corporate campaign contributions, especially to conservatives in both parties. The career of Nelson Rockefeller provides us with an impressive example of the use of money in politics. The Rockefeller family spent 10 to 12 million on Nelson's campaign for governor of New York, and another 12 million on his tries for the presidency in 1964 and 1968. Rockefeller spent large sums to surround himself with a highly paid staff of lawyers, intellectuals, writers, and public relation experts. He promoted himself through 2 costly commissions on natural goals and critical choices designed to keep him in the public eye as a national statesman. At the time he was being considered for appointment to the vice presidency, it was discovered that he had been buying not only political celebrity but political security. Rockefeller admitted to having given nearly $1.8 million in gifts and loans to 18 public officials since 1957, including $50,000 to Henry Kissinger, who had worked for Rockefeller for 15 years, 3 days before Kissinger became special advisor to President Nixon, and $625,000 to the chairman of the Port Authority of New York. David Rockefeller Chase Manhattan's bank has large bond holdings in the Port Authority. Various associates received outright cash gifts from Rockefeller or had loans settled while they held state jobs, despite the fact that New York law prohibits public employees from accepting any gift larger than $25. Oh, what are we going to do? How do we even attempt to gather up a strategy and lure King Kong in the sand pit and destroy him? Well, we can do it. First, we have to have clean elections. So if you Google clean elections, then we can eradicate campaign donations. But first, you simply gotta lure him in and provide a trap, which can be done.